Okay, so this is our first trial. We're gonna start recording our meetings from now. Yeah, you're not on there. Okay, so welcome to the first official coding class. So we're just gonna go over what we went last class if you were here. We're gonna first start our HTML. We're gonna create a new template, so yeah, you can do that. Don't reuse the one we had last time. And remember to switch to code view. Okay, first off, does anyone remember what the heading tag looked like? Yes. Okay, can you tell me exactly what to type in?
Greater than. Wait, not less. I want to use less than. Yeah, less than. H1 greater than. There we go.
Good job. And tell me something random to type in. Okay. There we go. And it's gonna show up right there. Now raise your hand if you remember what the P tag looked like. Anyone except DeAndre? Yes, Jan.
The P tag should look like plain text.
No, like tell me exactly what to type in.
Than P greater than.
Okay, good job. Something random to type in.
Beans.
Beans?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Everyone remember this, right? Okay, so now we're gonna move on. Does anyone remember how I added links in? Links? Yep. A tag and? Okay, next. Yes. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna do blah blah blah.com. And what else? So what are we? Okay, we're gonna name it something random. Actually, let me make this more neater. Cat and cats.com. Okay. So do you guys agree that this is how you're supposed to add in a, link? Let's create a random. Copy this. Yes. Let me make this bigger for you guys. Okay, can everyone see this now? Yeah. Okay. So okay. Okay, so everyone remembers that, right? Now we're actually going to okay, also, does anyone remember how many H tags there can be? The maximum? Six. Good job. Okay. What else? H1. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna introduce trying to style. Let me decrease this just a bit. So now we're gonna introduce trying to style our heading. So this is basically how we're gonna do it. We're gonna do our classic H1 tag, and instead we're gonna put style. Normally, when you're trying to style something, it would be much easier to use CSS and do it in a separate file. But now we're gonna teach you only everything in HTML, and then we're gonna introduce CSS a bit later. CSS is a bit easier also, but to basically differentiate styling and then formatting. But we can teach you also how to do the CSS, the styling portion, and HTML itself. So we're gonna put style equals quotations and then color. And then we're gonna put like a little colon. And then, for example, I want red. And then I'm gonna close the quotations and I'm gonna close this. And then I'm gonna put red heading. What? So I did. Yes, I did. Thank you. Thank you for catching that. And then when I run the code, it's gonna appear just like that. And we can do the exact same thing for the P tag. Blue for code. And then blue P tag. Okay, it's gonna appear just like that. Okay, and after styling, does everyone understands this, right? Okay, now we're gonna move on to trying to pick out fonts. So, okay, so I have a font in mind. So let's do H. I'm gonna leave the styling up here just so you guys can see it. And right down here, I'm gonna put in the formatting. Style. And instead of color, we're gonna put font. And we're gonna put like a little dash and family. And then another colon, just like the color. For any fonts, you always have to type in font family and then a colon, just like you do for color. And I like career, so I'm gonna put that. And then a semicolon, and then end the quotations. Now we're gonna close this tag. I'm gonna put font heading. So right there, this is gonna, the heading tag, the H tag, the heading tag is gonna appear as this font. And now we're gonna do the same thing for a different font, and we're gonna do it for the P tag. So remember, P tag style equals quotations, font family, colon, and then I am gonna put this one, semicolon, and then we're gonna put the quotations. The quotations are already there. So now we're gonna close this tag, and now we're gonna put paragraph heading. There we go. It's gonna appear right in this font. Okay, and another styling, the last, I think not the last, but another style element is the size. And if we want it big or small, normally if we want like a certain size, we can just differentiate between the heading tag and the P tag. But if we want like a really specific size, like we want it bigger than the heading or we want it smaller than the heading, but just bigger than the P tag, we want to basically customize our size. We're gonna do this. So we're gonna do the H tag, the classic H tag, and we're gonna put style, just like we do for all the other style elements. We're gonna put quotations, we're gonna put font, instead of family, we're gonna put font size, semicolon, and we're gonna put our size, our number is gonna be in percent. So for example, 300% right here, 300%. Now we're gonna put a semicolon, and this is just to close this whole tag. And now we're gonna put a greater than sign. And I'll put font size 300%. Okay. Now when I'm gonna run this, it's gonna appear just like that. It's much larger than the heading, as you see. And now we're gonna try this exact same thing on the P tag. So it's gonna look like this. So yeah, quotations, font size, and I'm gonna put like 150 this time, half of it, and semicolon, greater than sign, font size 50%. And now we're gonna run it. There we go. And also keep in mind, this is the P tag. So this is 150% of the P tag, not the H tag. So it's gonna appear much smaller than just like half of it. But it just depends what font size you apply to the heading tag or the P tag. Okay, now another styling option is that, okay, so what's one thing you notice with all of these style options? I mean, raise your hand if you notice something. It's hard to tell, but all of these writings, all of these headings are on the left of the screen. What happens if you want it centered? Like you want it right in the middle. So if you want to do that, we're gonna do something called text align center. So we're gonna do the same thing with H1. We're always gonna apply our style to both the heading tag and the P tag, just so we can like notice the difference. So let's do the H tag first. So H style, the classic thing we do, H1 style equals quotations. Now we're gonna type in text dash align colon center. Just like this, semicolon, and now we're gonna, put the quotations and everything, and we're gonna close this, and I'm gonna put center heading. And now we're gonna run this, right like that. It's gonna appear right in the middle. Okay, so does anyone have any questions? Yes. Yeah, for that, we're gonna actually talk about CSS, and in CSS, we can create divisions and we can actually apply the same style to multiple different formatting. And I'm gonna tell you all about that later, but right now I just want you to focus on understanding these style elements, okay? We're gonna get to that. Okay, so now we're gonna do the exact same thing on the P tag, just like we always do. So we can understand how it looks on both the P tag and the H tag, the heading tag. Align, colon, center, semicolon, quotations, greater than symbol, center, heading for P tag. And now this is just closed already, so don't worry if it like comes down to the next line, it's fine, it's still connected. And then if we scroll down here, it's gonna say H heading for P tag right there. Okay, yeah, that's basically the main thing for how to do that. And let's do like a little quiz. I'm gonna ask you guys how to do it, and I want you guys to, tell me. Well, do you guys have it on your screen right now? Okay, so that's not gonna be really helpful. Okay. Okay, so these are other styling options. What if you want I'm gonna run code so I can clear all of this. And remember, this whole meeting is recorded, so if you don't understand anything now, you could just you can go to our teams and then look at the recording, and you can just slow it down or just look at the code you wanted. Okay, so what if you want, okay, so I'll give you a scenario. What if you want your writing to not be in heading, but you don't want it in like paragraph form too. You want it in bold. You want it like nice and bold, and you want it in like a normal font. So you would type in the lesser than symbol, B, and then it's gonna, I don't know, bold. Right when I run the code, it's gonna appear in bold. And this tag is basically the bolded version of the P tag. So, in case you want something as small as the P tag, but like it kind of has the emphasis as the H tag, then you can use the bold tag. So what if you want something that's like, I don't know, important, and you want to like emphasize it, and you don't want to use the bold tag? You can use something called the strong tag, and it's just basically strong. You just type in strong, and that's a tag, and you can say like, this is important, and then run the code. It looks exactly like the bold, but it's another example of if you don't want to type in the bold, and it looks nicer too. Okay, what if you want a text in italic? If you want it italic, it's called the I tag, and I don't know, italic, and then you run code, it comes in italic. Yeah, and if you want like a really small text, you want it smaller than the P tag, like it's really insignificant, or you just want a really small text, you just put tag small, and then I don't know, the small text. It's going to appear just like that, extremely small, and it's way smaller than the P tag. Okay, also, there is another, one second. One second. Really fast, see if this works. Okay, so another styling option is that what if we okay, pay attention to this one, because this might be, I don't know, helpful. So what if I have like a really long line, I run it, but I want the rest of what I'm gonna put right here. So imagine, okay, let me make it more clear. I love cats. And then I'm gonna run this, right? Okay, so what if you want another line? So if I do that, and I'm gonna put like a comma or something, I don't like cats. It's all gonna appear in the same line. But what if you want this, I don't like cats part, like if you want it bottom, like if you want it a bit down, So it's called a line break, and it's gonna be a tag called BR. It's not gonna have any closing tag, unlike, anything else, but that's what you do. Let me set up this really quickly before I show you guys the results. Okay, now when I click run, see that see the next sentence comes right in the bottom, and it's called a line break. And this is a method to basically prevent really long sentences. And you can also create like really short, nice, clean sentences and keep them in the bottom. So yeah, and okay. Also, okay, imagine you're coding your website like you will be doing in a few, a few weeks. What if you're trying to write notes, but you don't want those notes to appear on your website? Like, for example, anything I put right here, it's gonna show up in some corner. And I want to put like, I don't know, let me put like make color blue. So imagine I put like a note right here and I run the code. This portion is gonna appear in the corner. So what if I want to write like notes around my code and I don't want it to actually appear? Yeah.
It's this, slash, a slash
Well, it's the most of it symbol is like that.
You guys already know it. That's really good. So it's called the comment tag, and it looks exactly like this. It's gonna be the less than sign with an exclamation and two dashes right there, and it already becomes like a bit gray. So I'm gonna put comments, notes. In here I'm gonna put stuff like comments, notes, stuff I don't want on the website. And I'm going to close this and I'm going to put two dashes and a greater than sign. And right there, this whole thing is going to turn green, or it's going to turn gray. It's two colors, green or gray. And you're going to know that it's not going to show up. So you can put whatever you want in this portion. It's not going to show up. So if you want reminders that, oh, I have to add this code in, oh, I have to have this, I have to make it a different color, but you just don't have time right now, you can add this comment tag, and you can just leave it in your code, and it's not going to show up in your actual code. It's just going to be there so you can type it in, and it's really, really helpful. Okay, what else? Okay, so next thing, what if in our website we want like a background color? Like, I don't know, I want this whole thing to be red, or yeah, let's do red. I'm gonna do h1 tag style. I'm gonna do the same thing we do for all the styling things, and in the quotations I'm gonna put background dash color colon, and let me see if this works, because I think there are like specific colors that are allowed. And then I'm gonna put like red. Yeah, there we go. So this is gonna happen if you want like a specific background, or I should call it more like highlighted instead of a background. This will basically highlight your text. However, which we're gonna teach you this later, but if you use CSS, it's gonna color the whole thing red. It's gonna color the whole page red. So yeah. But if we do anything, if we try to style in HTML, it's gonna only apply the styling to like the portion you're writing. It's gonna apply to only one portion. It's not gonna apply to everything. So, and that's the main difference between CSS and HTML. Okay, and I think we already did this text color, but another way, instead of like color style, we can just put like H1 style color. And I think there's a color called like tomato and semicolon. Close it, and then I don't know, some random stuff. Yeah, it's gonna appear like that. And tomato is like a different color. You can search up like the color wheel for HTML, and it's gonna be all different colors. Like for example, hashtag 00000 is just another name for black. But now this HTML language is more advanced, so you can literally just type black in, and the font's gonna appear in black. So I don't think we really have to worry about it now, but just if you wanted to know, you can just Google color wheel for HTML, and it's gonna give you all the numbers for the colors. Okay, and what happens if you want like a square border around your text? You're gonna it's gonna do like a border tag. So let's do it for the heading tag again. So H1 style, just like always, equal sign, quotations. We're gonna put border this time, colon, and we're gonna put like, okay, so the unit for a border is gonna be in px. It's gonna look like this. So we're gonna put a number, which is like, I don't know, 3px. And this would basically, actually, let me do 2px. And now we're gonna put solid, we just did tomato. Tomato is like a really nice color. It's like a light red, so I really liked it. So we're gonna put that. And we're gonna put a semicolon. So we're gonna end in 10 minutes. And tomato semicolon. We're gonna close this tag, and now we're gonna put a border tag. We're gonna run this code, and this is how it's gonna appear. It's basically a border around our text. What if you want? I think I heard some say violet or purple, but violet is better. I'm gonna put violet. Run code. It's gonna appear in violet. So yeah, that's that for colors and CSS basically. So this was a quick introduction to CSS and HTML. We are going to focus more on CSS like specifically because when you code, you do HTML and CSS together. The difference between HTML and HTML, styling in HTML is going to only apply the style to the text that you're coding in. It's not going to apply the style to everything. So yeah, our meeting today is finished. This was basically your introduction to styling in HTML. Yes, yeah.
What if you want to add like two little modifiers on it? Like, what if you want it to have like highlighted and centered?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. So, HTML, styling in HTML is honestly very, very rarely used because you can't add multiple styles at the same time, and you can't add like one style to so you can't add multiple styles at the same time, and you cannot add one style to multiple elements unless you repeatedly say like H1 style, this, and then you just keep repeating it. So it's really hard to style it in HTML. When we discuss CSS, I'll tell you guys all about it and adding multiple style elements to one code. And I think you guys will like CSS better. You can add multiple elements to what, like multiple different codes, and you can add little groups of stuff. You'll understand what I'm saying when we actually start learning it. So yeah. Do you guys have any questions? I'll talk to you later, Jen. Were you raising your hand?
Yeah, you said that you can't add multiple styles to one element.
So, okay, so you can technically add it, but it is a bit confusing in terms of coding. It's much, much easier to use CSS, and I'll talk about it next class. Any more questions? Do you guys like this? Do you guys like this type of coding, or do you guys have any suggestions? No? Okay, cool. Like, okay, so do you like the way we're doing it now? Do you want me to discuss our curriculum faster, slower? Do you guys have any suggestions? Because this is my first time teaching, so. Okay, cool. So we're gonna end right there. And yeah.